It's a dark night. Dark night.
Hi, Baldy Jack here, and today we're taking a look at the 5th installment in the Friday the 13th franchise, and that is Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning.
Friday the 13th Part 5 released March 22nd, 1985. The film will go on to being regarded as the black sheep of the series, but in recent years it has gained appreciation by many fans. So without a further ado, let's get started. The film opens on a dark, rainy night with a young boy in a yellow raincoat walking through the woods. And no, I don't mean that kid in a yellow raincoat. It's revealed to be Tommy Jarvis who stumbles upon Jason's grave. Two dorky teenagers show up to dig him up and get a good look at the so-called Crystal Lake Killer. Jason awakens and quickly dispatches of them. Moments afterwards, he rises from his wooden casket and slowly but surely approaches Tommy as he swings his machete. We cut to a startled teenage Tommy, as this was just a bad nightmare of his. It's later revealed that Tommy has been in and out of mental institutions throughout his life after the events of the final chapter. He's being transported to Pinehurst, the halfway house for troubled teens. We're introduced to such characters as the Doctor, Matthew Letter, Pam Roberts, the supervisor, Eddie and Tina, the horny couple. Yes, Roy has some amazing tits. I know, you can brag about it in the comments. Violet, the gothic music enthusiast chick, Jake, the shy stuttering kid, Robin, a redhead, Joey, the annoying overweight fat kid, and Vic, who has massive anger issues. Of course, I won't forget to mention the memorable Reggie the Reckless, who is only visiting since his grandfather is a cook for the institution. Also, there's Ethel and Junior, the redneck stereotypes, as they're the comedy aspect of Part 5. After all is said and done, we get our first kill of the film. Joey, who offers Victor a chocolate bar. Come on, Victor Miller, you know you want it. Yes, this may sound a little goofy in a sense, but it's the idea of Vic being so irritated that he kills Joey just for that simple reasoning. The police and paramedics arrive, and we see one of the paramedics, Roy. He looks shocked in disbelief and has this almost vengeful look in his eyes. The next scene focuses on these greaser dudes, Vinny and Pete, who are having car problems.
Coincidence? I think not!
Shortly afterwards, Vinny is killed by presumably Jason with a road flare to the mouth. Pete returns to the car after taking a pretty long leak and attempts to start up the car, only to get a machete to the throat.
And we're off. Let's go!
Now on to the next day, where Tommy ends up seeing a hallucination of Jason in his bedroom, while also struggling to take some pills, in which who the hell knows what those are prescribed for. Clearly, they ain't helping. That night at a local diner, a dude named Billy waits for his girlfriend Lana to hurry up and close the place up. Right after, Billy does a couple lines of coke, and he gets an axe to the balding spot of his head. Lana comes outside, gets the double-sided axe to the chest. Cut to the next scene with Tina and Eddie, who wander off to have a pretty good penetration in the woods. But as they're getting to it, a peeping Tom shows up, some ugly-looking man named Raymond that works for Ethel. Anyway, he gets a makeshift hunting knife to the stomach. Moments after, Eddie and Tina are finished screwing around. Eddie gets up to wash off his junk in a nearby creek. The killer surprise attacks Tina with a pair of hedge clippers, jabbing them into her eye sockets. A very nerve-wracking kill that you could only begin to imagine. Eddie comes back, acting all giddy-like, only to discover she's been murdered. Eddie walks backwards fearfully into a tree, as he then gets a leather belt wrapped around his head, with the supposed Jason twisting it until the strap breaks. Later that evening, Pam, Reggie, and Tommy head out to a local trailer park to visit Demon, Reggie's older brother, as he just happens to be in town this weekend. Tommy runs into Junior and picks a fight with him, as Junior realizes he's one of those, quote, kids from the loony bin. Tommy runs off, leaving Pam to take Reggie back to Pinehurst, while she goes searching for Tommy as she notices Matt Letter and Reggie's grandfather have gone missing. Junior returns home, but while he's doing laps on his motorcycle, a meat cleaver comes out from behind the tree, decapitating him. Ethel is inside making some, quote, fucking slop. Then a meat cleaver bursts through the kitchen window right into her forehead. Cutting back to Pinehurst with Jake and Robin sitting on a couch watching a movie.
Baldy Jack, get in here and come eat your slop for supper. Don't I make the best slop in the whole world, Baldy? Ooh, but remember what we had yesterday? Damn those enchiladas!
Jake tries to hit on Robin but gets rejected, and Jake storms upstairs as he felt he made a fool of himself. He tries to talk with Violet, but she's too busy listening to music as usual. Seconds later, Jake gets killed in the hall with a meat cleaver to the face. Robin's in her room getting ready to head to bed. But as she turns to lay on her side, she sees Jake's corpse in the top bunk next to her. She's then grabbed by Jason from the bottom bunk, and he proceeds to plunge a machete through the mattress. Now we're left with Violet dancing robotically to Pseudo Echo's His Eyes. She simply gets stabbed in her pillow-like abdomen, and oh boy, that pillow didn't deserve such a tragic fate. Reggie wakes up and finds all three of their bodies piled up in Tommy's bedroom. Pam comes back and discovers the same, with them frantically scared out of their minds. Jason makes his big entrance, bursting right through a door. Of course, this leads us on the casual chase scene with a few bodies to be found along the way. Reggie emerges in the tractor and rams Jason with the forklift part of the tractor, sending him flying across the wet ground. Pam and Reggie head into the barn with Jason following on their trail. Pam finds a chainsaw and tries to battle him off, cutting him in the shoulder blade. They later try to escape to the loft of the barn as Tommy shows up out of nowhere, distracting Jason enough to get sliced across the chest by his machete. Tommy pulls out a pocket knife and jabs him right in the thigh. Tommy passes out from his injuries. Jason goes after Pam and Reggie kicks him off, but he's still holding on and manages to grab Reggie by the ankle to try and climb back up. Tommy gets up, grabs his machete off the floor, and practically chops Jason's hand off as he falls onto some farming spikes. But it's revealed that the killer is the paramedic Roy Burns, who seeked revenge over the loss of his son, Joey. They end up at the hospital for some medical attention, and Tommy is visited by the spirit of Jason one last time. Pam goes in to check on him, only for Tommy to appear from the darkness equipped with a knife and wearing Roy's hockey mask. In conclusion, Friday the 13th Part 5, A New Beginning, is a sleazy good slasher. The movie captures the essence of what a Friday film is, and that is a whodunit. However poorly executed, as most people expected Jason to be the killer. Part 5's acting is decent, and is quite entertaining with the quirky cast of characters and all.
Oh,
Hey, you okay?
oh, damn enchiladas!
I find Tommy's character to be quite odd, as he's basically a mute throughout the entire film, kinda giving the idea of how the events of Part 4 really messed with his mind as a whole. The kills this time around are quick cut, with a few creative ones to some degree. There's plenty for everyone, with a whopping 22 kills, although 3 of those were dream sequences. As far as the imposter design for Jason goes, it's just a pair of coveralls. But it's the hockey mask that makes it most attention-drawing, with the upside-down blue chevrons. Tom Morga's performance can be viewed as an interesting one, since he basically played the role of Jason and the imposter counterpart. The film would gross $21 million at the box office, making it the 6th highest in the franchise. Overall, if you're looking for a killer corny time, sit down and watch Friday the 13th Part 5. And with that, I would like to thank you all for watching, and until then, see you all next time.